Just how important is it for Joe Biden to have Obama on board?
I think there are two answers to that question, Eve. The first one, of course, it's important to have Barack Obama on board, principally because he was a former US president and is still popular in the United States, and in particular his wife, whom he mentioned in that clip, Michelle Obama. So it's important for Joe Biden to show that he has the support of Barack Obama. It was not a foregone conclusion, but now Barack Obama has thrown his weight behind Joe Biden since the month of April. And of course, Joe Biden is hoping that having Barack Obama on board will bring in younger voters and also black voters. Both of those categories of voters are pretty dissatisfied with Donald Trump. And the second important reason is that Barack Obama is the biggest ever fundraiser for the Democratic Party in the United States. If you cast your mind back to 2008 and his election campaign when he first got elected to the White House, Barack Obama managed to bring in $745 million to his campaign. So Joe Biden knows that any event that he can get Barack Obama to join in on is going to boost the amount of money that people are going to pay into that campaign. And those dollars are very important if Joe Biden is to have any chance of winning the White House in November.
In November, of course, Philip, a long time away. But currently, Biden looking like he's holding his own in the race, polling very well.
Yeah, it's certainly looking good for him at the moment, but I think this all has to be taken with a lot of precaution. If you look at the opinion polls, they are unanimously giving Joe Biden a victory. So if there was an election today, for example, it is sure that Joe Biden would be the next president of the United States. But we're still 4.5 months away from that election. If you look at it a little bit more closely, Joe Biden has about a 10-point lead over Donald Trump, 51 to 41%. That's in a poll by Real Clear Politics, which reflects most of the polls in the United States. But if you ask voters who they're actually voting for, a lot of them are saying, well, look, we don't like Donald Trump, so we're going to vote for Joe Biden. And that's the problem that Joe Biden has. He's picking up anti-Trump voters. He's not picking up people who are voting in favor of him. And what Joe Biden has is a problem communicating his policies, what he really stands for. He remains quite unknown to a vast majority of people in the United States about what he would actually do if he got to the White House, even though he's been talking about COVID-19, even though he's been talking about the Black Lives Matters protests. Many people are more worried about the economic situation, their jobs, and they're more worried about health, and they're not paying too much attention to what Joe Biden is saying. So while people are voting against Donald Trump in favor of Joe Biden, that is good for him. But if they start putting Biden against Trump, that is where it might swing the other way and give more support to Donald Trump.
And finally, Philip, any word on who Biden might pick as his running mate?
Yes, we know, according to Joe Biden, that it is going to be a female running mate, and probably we will find out who it is in the month of August. Now, if he does go ahead and pick a woman as his running mate, then this will only be the third time in the history of the United States that this has happened. I'll give you three names very quickly. The first one is Elizabeth Warren. She's a favorite to go ahead and be chosen. She was a Massachusetts senator during the Democratic campaign to become a nominee for president. Kamala Harris, she is the front runner in the race. She would be the first black female black running mate in the United States. So she, I think, stands a very good chance. She's from California. And the last one is Gretchen Whitmer, who you may remember stood up against Donald Trump when the lockdown was criticized in her state in Michigan, saying she was going to go ahead with that. And Donald Trump was very, very aggressive against her on Twitter. She's also one of the favorites in the race to become the running mate for Joe Biden.